that could have allowed the Chicago Bulls to create a little bit more space in that battle for the ninth seed. The Chicago Bulls decide to once again wet the bed at home in a 12-point loss to the Atlanta Hawks. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, have some fun and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize. More importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we're happy to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content. And it's a Bulls loss, man. The Bulls lost by 12 points at home to the Atlanta Hawks. This Atlanta Hawks team that has been playing really well, still sucks defensively, but the biggest thing in this game that really separated the two teams was the three-point shooting. The Bulls went 7 of 28 for 25% shooting from three-point line. The Atlanta Hawks went 19 of 40 for 47% shooting from the three-point line. That's a huge difference, right? That's 30, if I can count, 36 more points from the three-point line than what the Chicago Bulls had. They lost the game by 12 points. Again, the Bulls being taken down by simple math. It's happened too often this season. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, right? The Chicago Bulls can't do enough to win games against a team that, and when you look at it, right, let's break it down. The Bulls won the rebounding battle 51-45. Solidly enough, right? Only 17 assists on 37 made baskets for the Bulls. That's not going to cut it. The Bulls had 20 points off turnovers, 13 for the Atlanta Hawks. They won that battle. Second chance points, the Bulls won that 11-10. Points off fast break, 12-12. Those were tied. Bench points, 35-20 in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. Field goals, free throws made, 12 by the Atlanta Hawks, 20 by the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls were right there neck and neck in every major statistical category, but the three-point shooting is what determined the difference in this game. And that's something that periodically happens for the Chicago Bulls. When you're a terrible three-point shooter, that's just what happens, man. Seems bad guarding the three-point line. And unfortunately, when you're up against a team that can get hot from three-point range, it's gonna bite you. And you're not gonna be able to overcome it, not with the way that the Chicago Bulls shoot the three ball. It's just not. This is why, again, what did I say? To be more modern, this team is gonna have to figure something out this offseason, because this is not going to cut it. When role players, it wasn't even DeJounte Murray. 17 points from Murray, solidly enough. He went 3-6 from three-point line. Bogdanovich only went 2-2 from the three-point line for 20 points. Then you had Krikic, I don't know how to pronounce his name, somebody I've never heard of before, 18 points, 6 of 6 from the three-point line. That just is what it is. The Bulls continually give players their second contract, man. It's just unfortunate when you run down DeMar DeRozan, 10 of 23 from the field for 31 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds for DeMar DeRozan. Nikola Vucevic had 5 points, going 2 of 7 from the field, 14 rebounds, though, 3 assists, 1 steal. Kobe White, 8 of 21 from the field for 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. 8 points from Alex Caruso, went 3 of 13 after his hot night shooting last night. Then you got Ayo Dosunmu with 15 points, going 7 of 13 from the field. He chips in 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal from Ayo. 13 points, 13 and 18 off the bench for Drummond today in 20 minutes played. Torrey Craig, 13 minutes played. He put up a Tony Snell stat line, unfortunately. Terry Taylor's played 10 minutes. He got 4 points in that time. And then you got a bunch of role players. Javon Carter checked into this game for 7 minutes, 1 for 4 from the field. OB played 12 minutes. Dalen Terry, 8 minutes. He put up a Tony Snell stat line. But yeah, it's just, that's where we sit right now, man. At this point, I've been telling you guys this, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And I mean that and say that nothing can change what needs to happen this offseason. You need to become a more modern team. You need to get your fucking life. That's what needs to happen. Figure it out. This Bulls team ain't it. And we know, and we've known it isn't it. And hopefully this front office realizes this isn't it. You got to be better. There are no excuses, no ifs, ands, or buts, or hopes, or wishes, or any of that. God ain't listening. God is not listening to the Chicago Bulls. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. You got to take shit into your own hands. And to do that, the Bulls are going to have to play much better than what they've been playing. They're going to have to fix their roster. But we're talking about tonight's game. I'll get into what I want to see happen with the roster on a daily episode. But overall, like, this is just the type of performance that you can expect to see from the Bulls. And, the hope to get out the play-in, it doesn't. Here's what I'll say. I almost do hope that the Bulls do drop to the 10th seed. So that way, if they are eliminated from the play-in tournament, they have more ping pong balls. That's what it comes to. Like Diddy, get more balls. That's all you can say with that one. This isn't it. It's not it, man. And yeah, we'll see what comes of this. If the Bulls play any better here the remaining part of the season, I don't have much hope. This Bulls team has been an up and down and incomplete team for years. And this is just how they play and perform. So we'll see what happens with it, man. I understand there are nights that you are going to have bad shooting, but even have to play better defense, and we didn't even try to do that. I mean, they tried, they just weren't successful. Hope they get to the 10th seed so they won't get blown out at the UC again. Hey, I can feel where you're coming from on that one. Not cool. Not at all. It's terrible. The way that the Bulls played is terrible. I hope they make the 10th seed. Bulls don't deserve the 9th seed. Exactly. Professional choke. Oh, you can't even say they choked in this one. Yeah, they got out to what, a 11-0 start or whatever it was to start it, but you didn't choke that because you gave up that lead right away. It's just a bad loss by a bad team. What's going on, Daniel? Glad to have you in the building, brother. See, Will, seems like every loss there's a player from the opposing team that has a career night, especially from three. Yeah, I've been talking about that for years, bro. I completely agree with you on that one. Even I know without reading the scouting report, win or lose, Bogdanovich always cooks the Bulls. They should know this, even if they're paying attention. Well, it wasn't just Bogdanovich, though. It wasn't just Bogdanovich. Omar, on the bright side, the Cubs won, and they're giving us something to look forward to in the future. Wish I can say the same for the Bulls and the Blackhawks. Oh, the Blackhawks have Connor Bedard and one of the more promising young cores in the NHL. The Blackhawks got plenty of stuff on the horizon. The Bulls don't even have that. What up, Haize? I'm at work. Just here to listen. Sucks this team is so bipolar. Like I said, just here to listen. Have a good show. Shout out to King Kofu in the building. Haize, do you think we should moving Kobe and try to leverage his almost most approved? No, you don't get rid of players that are on cost-effective contracts that are still ascending for you. You don't do that, bro. You don't do that. MC says, was at the game today when you let a team shoot over 50% from three, you pretty much signed up for a diddler situation. It was a diddler situation. That's crazy. That's the fact that diddlers become like part of the lexicon already is wild. The fact that Vooch basically wearing a Hawks jersey tonight was foreshadowing, as I like to not see him in a Bulls jersey next season. Here's what I'm telling you, Dino, be prepared to see Vooch in the Bulls jersey next season. That's all I'm going to say now. Zach is probably thinking I came back to this shit laughing my ass off. Also thinking he still wants to move forward with that trade. I don't even care anymore. What happens with Zach LaVine happens at this point in time. Vooch is starting to piss me off. He's just now starting to piss you off. If he's having an off night offensively, can he at least show some effort defensively? I don't know, man. Maybe the Bulls can start looking for a new starting center. Well, welcome to the party, Migs. For the good of the team, Vooch needs to bench himself. Vooch, that's crazy. One thing though, I think the NBA turns the magnets on for all teams versus Bulls. That's that magnet shit was crazy. That was a crazy theory. We took that. We took that. Hey man, the diddler. You got diddled. The bipolar Bulls once again lose the game because they got away from the 3-point line and Vooch underperformed tonight. It was disgraceful. Listen, at this point, do you really expect Vooch to perform every night? Vooch getting beat down on the floor consistently. Bottom line, it's time to find Vooch replacement and move him to the bench. DeMar and Vooch cannot be on the floor at the same time. Yeah. Haize, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde team. It's getting real hard to have faith in this roster, this coach, this organization. Bulls have to find a way. No, they have to make a way. You can't just hope to find a way. They've hoped that they were going to find a way. I know what you mean by that. I know that's not what you meant, but like this team is just, it's crazy. If your name is an I or P, will get to stepping. I'd be a blessing if we were able to keep Zach, but I was right. And now he's done with us. AK is a joke, maybe worse than you know who. No, AK isn't worse than that. That's not even the case. Vooch is pissing me off. Listen, Vooch is pissing everybody off. It is what it is. Bring Omer Sheik back. That's where is Omer at? Where is Omer at right now? There was no 5 Javantes out. There was no 1 Javante out, right? It was none of that. No one ain't over until the fat lady sings, but somebody tell Lizzo to drag her big. Wow. What? The Lizzo slander is crazy. Crazy. The Bulls really did April Fool's prank on us by starting off the game 11. That is hilarious. That's funny. That's damn funny there, brother. That's funny. That's hilariously funny, man. 10 seed, here we come. Let's go get a better pick to throw away. That's funny. They better not throw it away. Vooch has the knees and feet of a 70-year-old Dickie Simpkins. No, it's worse than that, bro. It's worse than that. I know a lady in nursing home right now that across Vooch up. The weak lackadaisical effort on defense by Vooch, just standing there and hacking at the ball, but not hard enough to stop the bucket. That is, you know what? That is an important thing to point out, right? Because if you're gonna hack somebody, at least do it hard enough to where they're not gonna score as well, right? If there's a silver lining to look for, last season we swept the season series versus the Heat, but lost to them in the play-in. So what I'm saying here is there's a chance the Bulls beat the Hawks. I mean, we've this is the first game we've lost against them this season. So if I'm not mistaken, that we came into this 2-1 against them. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I mixed it in last year. Vooch is privileged and plays like he know he's good. No, it just has nothing. Look, Melvin be trying to add like Melvin. I'm convinced Melvin's full time job is writing for a soap opera. Melvin will add a story. Vooch just sucks, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with no entitlement or nothing. That's just who Vooch is. Nephew Bulls embarrassing bullshitters who they are Vooch 5 point shaking my head. Listen, I've been much more disappointed in the effort by the team, but here's the thing. You're on your home court. This is your opportunity to kind of create some separation, more separation for that 9th seed. And the Bulls, listen, every time there's expectations, not even necessarily expectations, but there's a requirement or something that would benefit the team. The Bulls shit the bed, man. It's bad. Now we're tied in the loss column. We're only a half game above the Atlanta Hawks now with 6 games left to be played. This thing ain't over, bro. And it could get a lot worse for the Chicago Bulls, is what I'm going to say. I mean a lot worse for the Bulls. Now, they're going to make the play-in regardless. We now know that for sure. So there's no more question on if the Bulls are going to make the play-in or not. They're a play-in team. But outside of that, this is a team again that just continues to find new ways to disappoint every single time. And it's just unfortunate that you have a team in the Bulls that does have talent on it, but you just always expect some shit to happen. And that's where we sit right now with this Bulls team. We're in the shits, bro. We're in the shits. Corn says, "Did this really just happen? Like you can't make this shit up. I can't believe this team, King, bro. Look, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me. I wish there was a way we could miss the play in. The higher the draft pick, the better. Yeah, unfortunately, we missed out. We missed out on that. Y'all thought that we were going to show up for y'all loyal ass fans tonight. Jokes on you, April Fools, motherfucker. That's hilarious. Maybe the Bulls are going to be playing champs like Wolves a few seasons ago. I wouldn't even want that, to be honest with you, because then you're not going to have a lottery pick. At this point, there's not like I don't know, man. I really don't know what to say about this team anymore. I honestly think DeRozan is ready to be back in California with his Crip homies because he's ready to start negotiating his next contract. The rest of the team would rather go on vacation in the offseason. Well, they cut off negotiations. They tried to negotiate. The sides were far apart on both money and years. There's no contract there. When you're far apart on money and years, that means you have no contract. This is one of the most out of sync offenses. When you don't move without the ball, it's hard to get in sync, man. Like that, like this, like I said before, this team makes everything harder on themselves. Everything, everything that they can make harder on themselves, they do. And I don't know why. I have no idea why you want to play this way. It's ridiculous. And we see it so often and so frequent with this team. Dion says, "Can the Bulls lose out, miss the playoffs, and ownership be so embarrassed?" No, listen, I keep telling y'all this. Stop it. The Reinsdorfs in our lifetime are never selling the team. They're never selling the Chicago Bulls. And I told you guys before, if they did sell, best believe they're probably not staying in Chicago. So no, it's not happening. The team is not being sold. Pick a new lane. This is what competitiveness we play up to our competition, and we play down to our competition. The story, I can't even say that. It's not about playing down to competition. It's about the competition that's you're playing down to, just giving a damn more than you. You can play down and still care, right? Because playing down just means like, oh, we can take it easy here. That's not what this Bulls team is doing. This Bulls team is getting outworked. Saying that they play down to their competition is, for my blood, taking too much away from the way the teams come in here and compete against the Bulls. The Bulls don't play with heart. The Bulls don't play with execution. They ain't just playing down the competition. The other team just wants it more. Outside of more shooters and bigs, I want a new identity to this team to practice in the offseason. I want them to learn how to run advantage fast breaks better, how to defend the three-point line better. Listen, we all can want, bro. We all can want. Motherfuckers in hell right now want some ice water. They thirstier than a motherfucker. That shit ain't coming. Oh, yeah, I'm calling it. DeMar's going to be a Clipper next year. I don't blame him for wanting to leave Chicago. Listen, I can't blame him. He came in here and did everything that we signed him to do. Haize runs his YouTube channels with more authority than Billy runs a professional team. Haize tells his co-host, "Fix your mics, adjust the sound, fix your camera." Billy with this team, nothing. That's crazy. I did care, but now I don't care anymore. This team is fraud. I knew yesterday's win was too good to be true. DeMar and Vooch will sadly be gone this offseason. Maybe even Zach. Vooch ain't, I'm telling you what, right now, it's highly unlikely Vooch is going anywhere. Nobody's going to take Vooch with the way he's playing on that contract. Just not, and the contract looked like it was going to be a pretty decent contract. Billy Bubblegum Donovan did nothing. This is bad. He did do something. He called a challenge that actually, I guess, was successful in a way, right? He chewed some damn bubble gum up and down the sidelines. He did that shit, but that's about it. That's about it. This team's so MFing confusing, embarrassing, and don't make sense the way the Bulls play. For a team with no heart, it makes a lot of sense. They suck. The light at the is there any light at the end of the tunnel with this organization? I mean, there's always light for every franchise. You got to look at Kobe, Io, hitting growth this season. Julian, at least while he was healthy, showing that hey, he may be a player, right? Dalen Terry improved it. We got our own first round pick this season. There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. But listen, that light can get dimmed out real quickly. This team is mentally checked out for the season. Y'all let the downfall begin. The downfall begin. Begin. It's 6 games left in the season, bro. This ain't begin. This is it. Am I the only person that see DeMar, Dre, and Kobe? Kobe, you seen Kobe Cheese being the only players playing with at least a little urgent energy? Well, you left Caruso off there. Caruso just was bad this game. This was a bad Caruso game. Bad Caruso game. Billy deserves the Del Negro treatment. And hey, Vinny Del Negro had a above 500 record. So This is what not having an identity gets you. I completely agree with you there. Completely agree with you. This team is so sad. Hope this season is over with. I mean, listen, here's what I'll say to that, brother. The season sucks, right? This has been a rough season as a Bulls fan because of the up and down nature. We start off 4-15. Zach Levine goes down. Everything looks bleak. The Bulls start playing better. They play better for the most part since then, right? Above 500 records since the end of December. Those things are all positive. But the fact of the matter is that until this team has an identity, until this has a certain level of play, until you can look at the Chicago Bulls and say, we know they're going to do X thing every single night. Other than struggling Billy Donovan chewing gum, it's going to be what it's going to be, man. This is unfortunately where we are right now. Bad Caruso tonight. Yeah, it was bad Caruso tonight. Bad Caruso. Hey, like I told you before, Jerry Reinsdorf, I got another 150 years to live before he passes away, and his great grandchild are forced to take over. They ain't no hope for the Bulls in our lives. No, because again, Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't run the day to day. You just got to have a front office that makes smart decisions. I agree with your take, Haize. This is just so tired. Hey, bro, I feel you, right? And that's the thing. I don't always agree with everybody's takes after losses because everybody's like, oh, you got to trade this. You got to do that. Alex Caruso's too good for this team. Trade him away. But I understand where everybody's coming from, man. Everybody, we all as Bulls fans, real talk, whether we agree, whether we disagree, whether I flamed you in the past, whatever it is, we all just want the same thing. We want this team to be great. We want this team to win titles. We want this team to be a team that we can look at and say, hey, this is our team and be proud in this. There's no being proud in what we see night in and night out there from the Chicago Bulls. There's nothing to be proud in the job that the front office has done over the last 3 years. There's nothing to be proud in the coaching that Billy Donovan has done or the coaching staff. There's nothing to be proud in how they perform on their home court. There's nothing to be proud of with this team. And as a fan base that rocks and rolls with their team night in and night out, you won't find a more loyal fan base in the NBA. And I stick to that. And the reason why I say that, because Laker fans, the moment that the team doesn't look like they can contend for a title, are out. They're out. Warriors fans, they're new. Those motherfuckers just popped up in the last 10 years. So we definitely don't match the Chicago Bulls, right? New York Knicks fans, New York Knicks don't even like themselves, much less each other and their team consistently. The Chicago Bulls fans are so loyal. Number one, top 5 in attendance, and we ain't sniffed the title in many Bulls fans' lifetimes at this point, right? And because of that, like, it's just, when you look at the way that this season has gone, yeah, you got bright spots in Kobe, you got bright spots in Io, you got bright spots to a lesser degree in Julian and Dalen. Adama Sanogo cooked in the G League this year. That season's over with. All those things, it could be true. You got some bright spots on this team. You got your own first round pick. You got, I think, $60 million in cap space next offseason, not this offseason. But the fact of the matter still remains, you can't be proud in the product that this team is putting out on the court. And that is something that's just ridiculous. But we'll still show up. We'll still talk about it. We'll still be here. There's not a more loyal fan base than the Chicago Bulls fan base in basketball. But I wish that was rewarded from us. I wish we had an ownership group that looked at it and said, because these fans love us so much, we have a onus on us of putting out the best team possible. But what does Jerry Reinsdorf say? Hey, did the check clear? All right, cool. Jerry Reinsdorf isn't involved in the day-to-day. It's up to the president of basketball operations to run this team. You know what you do as a team that can't spend the luxury tax? You have to draft well. You have to be smart with your contracts. You have to develop. You know what? We had to hire a whole player development staff because we couldn't freaking develop players. Right now, of course, I'm much more happy that we have a player development staff than not. I love it because that's going to help get the most out of these young draft picks that we have here. But AK, you try to live in two different worlds. It didn't work, right? It just didn't work. Had Alonzo not went down, different story. This is the lot in life that we sit in right now. And it's up to this front office to repay the loyalness of this fan base to do something. Do something. We needed 3-point shooting in this game, and Billy Bubblegum Donovan looked at Arnold team, who, again, granted, hasn't been shooting the ball the best since his initial first 4 games. But god damn it, bro, what are we doing? Right? What are we doing? When you look at this team, it's a culmination of lack of activity, bad decisions, and injuries that have led us to where we are right now. And it's going to take a vision in the front office that is focused on getting us out of the pits of hell that we're in. But instead, they want to sell us on continuity. They want to sell us on competitiveness. You want to sell, you know what? We gonna sell you on another C word, you fucking dickhead. You know what that is gonna be? Suck my cock. That's gonna be the next C word in this bitch because it shouldn't be like this. And until it gets to the point where this front office, their focus is winning. Because right now, this front office is focused on loyalty. They love the players that they brought here. They want to be loyal to those players. And part of me in the back of my mind commends them for that. We have had the last front office wasn't loyal to shit but themselves. Loyalty will only get you so far. And you have to be smart with the loyalty on top of that. Get your life together, bro. Get your life together. So it's just at some point, all of this has to come to a point where until the front office really and truly cares about winning more than anything, winning more than loyalty. Sometimes you got to look at somebody and say, we love the job you did here. You came here, you played for us, you're great. Thank you for that. But we got to go a different direction. We love you, but we got to go a different direction. AK doesn't have that in him. He doesn't have that in him. And that loyalty, when you don't draft well, when you don't sign the right players, when you don't the right coach, when you don't build a team that fits together on the court, all you're doing is being loyal to being mid. That's what you're being loyal and committed to. And that's where it sits right now for the Chicago Bulls. And unfortunately, this is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to be. It's not going to change. Lonzo Ball ain't walking through that door. He may roll through that door. He's not walking through that door to save the Chicago Bulls. So until we're going to win some basketball games, we got some damn good players on this team. We got some players that we love, right? But this team still has to make sense. You can have a team full of likable guys, but you got no identity. None. What is the identity of the Chicago Bulls right now? What's the identity? Somebody tell me. Nobody can. We don't have one. You show me a team that has actually pulled themselves from where the Bulls are right now and don't have an identity. Sometimes your coach is your identity, right? Because you have a level of excellence, right? Heat culture is called heat culture because you can't necessarily just identify it as one thing because it steadily evolves. Heat culture was very different when it was Shaq and Dwayne. It was even different from that when it was Dwayne, LeBron, and Bosh. Then it was different again when it was Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra. But the franchise itself has an identity, and we call that heat culture. What's Bulls culture right now? Do the Bulls have a culture? What's the culture here? What's the identity here? What's the standard here right now? We don't have none of that, and we have nobody attempting to set it either. Billy Donovan isn't setting the standard. The only standard Billy Donovan is setting is the standard of bubblegum chewing at the church of Bubblicious. That's what Billy Donovan is setting as far as standard right now. AK set a standard of competitiveness and continuity that has led us into fucking the pits of hell. And you can't look at Emperor Palpatine, Jerry Reinsdorf himself to set anything because Jerry Reinsdorf is the same person who sat there and gave Scottie Pippen the deal that he did. We got nothing, we stand for nothing. And when you have nothing and you stand for nothing, guess what? You fall for anything. Or in this case, you fall to anything. To your knees. Against teams that you should be beating. That's where we are right now, man. This team right now needs it. They need culture. They need an identity. They need somebody to set a standard, right? And to hold those players to that standard. We have a team that doesn't move without the basketball in the year of our Lord 2024. You don't move without the basketball. At what you show me a team that is successful that doesn't move without the basketball. And that is something when you talk about setting standards by a head coach, there's no coach in the world that should be happy with your team watching your 34-year-old aging veteran cook and everybody's just like, damn, Hey, DeMar dribbled the hell out that. Oh, pump fake. Oh shit. Good job, DeMar. Save us some more. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Until we get that standard, until we get a culture in here, this is where we're going to be, Bulls fans. This is where we are going to be. And unfortunately, it is what it is, right? Now, I'm going to, at the end of the day, be here every single day, every single game. Come and air your grievances. I want to hear from you guys. And hopefully, you guys feel like I am a good representative of Chicago Bulls fandom because I'm tired and I'm fed up. And I still love this team with everything, every fiber of my being. I love the Chicago Bulls. But I just wish that they loved us back. I wish that the Chicago Bulls looked at this fan base that is one of the most loyal fan bases in the game of basketball and says, you guys deserve more, and by God, we're going to give you more. Instead of sitting there saying, you guys deserve more, and I feel like you're going to be excited by what we do in free agency. Oh, what was that excitement? Torrey Craig and Javon Carter, right? So this at the end of the Bulls are going to win more basketball games. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls win a playing game. Would not be surprised at all. But when I say things like it doesn't change what needs to happen this offseason, it's because doesn't shit change what we need to do in the offseason. The Bulls right now are in a place right now where we are living off hope. You've sold us on hope. What we doing, bro? What we doing? Because there ain't no hope in Billy Donovan. I can tell you that right now. And as much as I love what DeMar has done for this team, there's no future in DeMar DeRozan being your best player. There's just not. Not for a young team. I can tell you that right now. And that's not an indictment on DeMar. That's not. That's not to talk shit about DeMar. What DeMar is able to do at his age is amazing. But there is no future with DeMar DeRozan being your best player. The whole point of this experiment of bringing in Caruso, bringing in DeMar, trading for Vooch, signing Lonzo Ball, extending Zach LaVine was that by the end of DeMar DeRozan's contract, you had players that had stepped up, that Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe have stepped up. But you have had a natural transition of power to where even if you did re-sign DeMar DeRozan, you got players that have stepped up, and now we need less from DeMar. That's not what has happened here. Everything that this front office has done up until this point basically has failed. And cool, right? How are you going to go and fix it? Because re-signing Andre Drummond, DeMar DeRozan ain't going to fix it. Yeah, do those players deserve another contract? Absolutely. They deserve the world because they have fought for this Bulls team. Andre Drummond has outplayed Nikola Vucevic for the last 20 games in a row, basically. He deserves a contract. Andre Drummond has played 5 years on the veteran minimum the last 5 seasons he's played, 2 of those being for the Chicago Bulls. He deserves a contract. Over 30 now, but he deserves it. But at the same time, what does that do for your future? Because if you re-sign DeMar, if you re-sign Andre Drummond, I tell you what, we're going to be sitting right here next year at the same exact time, same bat channel, same bat fucking excuses. That's what we're going to be sitting at and what we're going to be witnessing. So it is what it is, bro. I wish that a drop of the passion that I had for this team was in the heart of AK. I wish that a drop of the passion that I have for the Chicago Bulls was in Billy Donovan. I wish that's a pause. I'm talking about pitting drops in grown ass men. That's a bit of a pause, but follow me here for a second. If they had the fire that I have for this team, nobody could ever doubt how much I love the Chicago Bulls. But I wish that I had the same thought process behind the people running my team because it seems like everybody's in it for their own shit. Billy Donovan's in it to get paid and do his thing and chew bubble gum, walk up and down the court, have his badass hairline. It is what it is. AK, I really did think AK was coming in here to change some things, and he still got some time. But right now, it just seems like you're just here. You're just an extension of Jerry Reinsdorf. right? And as much as motherfuckers want to boo Jerry Krause, you know what? Jerry Krause looked Jerry Reinsdorf in his face and said, hey, this is what we doing in the draft. He stood up to Jerry Reinsdorf. Now he earned that. We as a fan base booed Jerry Krause because he broke up the big three. But guess what? Jerry Krause did care about winning. Jerry Krause cared so much about winning that he didn't care if every single Chicago Bulls fan in existence hated him if it meant getting the Chicago Bulls a title. Do we have that at AK? Do you think that AK would rather everybody hate him if it meant getting us a title? No, he'd sit here and pander to us. It's where we sit right now sucks. And I love you guys. I love this team. I love this franchise. But we cannot allow a run for the 9th seed in the fucking play-in tournament make us give any excuses for this bullshit ass team and how they've been ran for the last few years. You can't. You can't. And until those things change, man, listen. That's crazy, bro. Hey, listen, that's why I say I was disgusted by people who booed Jerry Krause. Because as somebody who's objective and who actually lived through that shit, Jerry Krause gave a goddamn, bro. He cared. He cared so much. Can you imagine caring about so much that you were willing to be hated for the thing that you care about? And because you broke something up when it was a little bit too early to break it up, admittedly, y'all boo him? Every time AK shows his face, then I need all you motherfuckers to boo. All of y'all to boo. Every single person to boo that motherfucker. Because it just doesn't. Everybody here has more passion for the Bulls than AK. And that's just what it is, man. Front offices that are in it for business transactions very rarely win titles. Some of them do. It happens sometimes. But this team is ran like a business. Nobody cares anymore. Who in the Chicago? I hoped at one point Michael Reinsdorf coming up, him growing up during the whole the 2-3 peats, he was going to come in here and be like, bet we got to get the Bulls back to that. I remember what this felt like. But Michael Reinsdorf is the same goddamn person. Him and Jerry might as well be doing the fucking Spider-Man meme. Man, I'm telling you right now, bro. It sucks. It sucks to be so in love with a franchise that doesn't love you back. And it's shown it with their moves every single year, right? And until we stop being ran like a business. It still is a business. Make no mistake about it. It's still a business. I'm not losing that view of it. It is still absolutely a business and should and always will be. But when you keep running it as a business and you remove the element of needing to have fire and passion for winning some goddamn thing, we're going to keep being right here unless we get lucky. We got lucky to have Derrick Rose come to the Chicago Bulls. We got lucky. And up until that point, that team was being built pretty decently. So there you go. But right now, everybody is running this team like a business, man. And the business is failing. This business is failing. But of course, Jerry doesn't see it as the business not failing because the check is still clean, because the UC is still full, because I got on Bulls gear, right? It is what it is, bro. It's really frustrating. And this is why, I get it. I get up here every single night and I try to give you guys a great show, right? That's the thing that I took on in doing this. I owe you guys a great show. And if you guys knew how often I had to put the fan side of Haize to the side and be the host so that everybody can have this great feeling in this great show, when sometimes I'm just pissed off. I'm really just pissed off and disappointed. I'm pissed off and disappointed that this is where we are. That after changing the front office, after ushering in a new era, after talking about this city deserving championships, that we're right back where the fuck we were, with no direction, no heart, no passion, and a bullshit ass head coach. The only difference between Jim Boylan and Billy Donovan is Billy Donovan's a good guy. It's frustrating, y'all, man. It is really, really frustrating. It's just fucking frustrating that that's where we find ourselves yet again. But hey, man, maybe this offseason will bring some clarity. Maybe some changes will come this offseason. But like I said, until I feel like personally that we have somebody that's running this team, and I don't mean that nobody needs to get fired or whatever, but until I feel like the people who are in power, who are in charge over parts, are passionate. It just look, the only people who are passionate right now in the Bulls franchise is Peter Patton in the player development department. I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to see Peter Patton talk. Peter Patton cares about developing players. That dude is passionate about working with players on their game. Go and look up any interview with Peter Patton talking about development. And I'm talking about even before he got hired by the Bulls. He is passionate about his job, and his job is developing players. So he's there. Cool. I'm glad we got him in the building. But I tell you what, it's going to be a hard time keeping his ass if he looks at this and says, "Hey, these motherfuckers don't give a shit." Right? But hey, that's where we are, man. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. I hate it when I do that. I really try my best not to be just purely a fan and go off, but it just naturally happened. And I apologize to you guys that I couldn't keep it together well enough to give a show, and it just turned into a rant. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you guys still appreciate it. I feel bad because I really don't like wasting your guys' time hearing my dumbass rant. I really don't. I don't like giving that to you guys, man. Um, man, I hate that I just did that. I really hate that I just did that because you guys deserve better than that from me. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. I'll do better in the morning with the day episode. I promise not to be so ranty on that. And I appreciate you guys so much for just everything that you mean to me, the support of the channel throughout this year. This has been a rough year, man, as Bulls fans. It's been a really rough year. And I know it's been up and down, and it's been tumultuous. And as I murder that word, man. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. Make sure you guys are following the channel, man. At Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, the number to do so 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, man. And I love you guys. I truly do. I know I say that all the time, but I love you guys, man. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. See Red, go Bulls. Love you guys.